This is a 2-pack of batteries and a charger for the DJI Action cameras. So these guys were sent to me to review for free. If you wanted to purchase them, the package would cost you about $32. They haven't paid me for my review, and my opinions remain my own. So in the package we get 2 of these batteries, which are labeled high capacity for OSMO Action 5 Pro, 5, 4, and 3. On the back here they say their capacity is 2.8 amp hours or 10.83 watt hours. And you get this little carrying case charger. It has a USB-C port on the side, and it has a USB-C to C cable for attaching that to something. On the bottom here it says its output is 4.5 volts, and it says it's 3 amps if you charge 1 battery, or 1.5 amp per battery if you're charging 2 batteries. So just assume that it fast charges 1 battery at 3 amps, or 2 batteries is 1.5 amps. And it says it will do USB-C power delivery, and it says 5 to 12 volts. So it may benefit from having a 9 or 12 volt power supply. There's 2 lights on the front, and it says charging is red, full is green. So I am going to run down one of these batteries, and then we'll see how much power it takes to charge it back up. Make sure it's more than the 10.83 watt hours they claim as the capacity. Alright, this is a USB-C power delivery cable. When I plug it in, I get 2 green lights. It's empty. I'm going to plug these batteries in. They go in this way with the label to the front. There's nothing particularly stopping them from going in the wrong way. They just won't go all the way down. And it says it is charging both batteries. Alright, these batteries came from the factory, potentially partially charged or maybe mostly charged. It negotiated up to the 12 volt level. It's drawing 1.2 amps at 12 volts. It's drawing in 14 watts. Now charging 2 batteries, 4.5 volts each, a total of 3 amps, that's about 13.5 watts, and it's drawing more than that. So I believe its claim that it's doing 1.5 amps per battery. Now I'm going to take one of the batteries out and we'll see if it can ramp up to a higher level on the other battery. Alright, so with 1 battery in, it's actually drawing 16 watts, so it does look like it is kind of fast charging 1 battery, putting all that power into the 1 battery. So it looks like it's doing a full 3 amps into the 1 battery. So if that battery was completely empty, it's a 2.8 amp hour battery, and so if it's charging it at 3 amps, I would expect it to be charged within an hour or so. Now it probably trails off as you get near the 80-90% charge point, so it might take a little longer than an hour to charge 1 battery, but it looks like a relatively fast charger. I'm going to charge up both batteries before I run one of them down. I've reset the watt hour counter. We'll see how much power it takes to get these guys full from the factory to see kind of what level they were at shipped. Alright, these guys are charged up. It took 9 watt hours, so 4.5 watt hours per battery to get them up to fully charged out of the box. Alright, I have this guy set up to record. Put the battery in, it's driving my guy just fine. I've set it up to record this thing, and we are going to see how long it goes. Alright, it's been recording for 65 minutes, and the battery level says 52%. Alright, we're at 102 minutes, and the battery level is at 21%. I should mention here that I have left the screen always on, so it's not turning off the screen. So it's using the battery faster than if I'd had the screen to turn off automatically when it's not being used. The main goal here is to run the battery down, not necessarily put this guy in the most battery efficient mode. Alright, it's 119 minutes, basically 2 hours. The battery's at 5% with a red battery indicator, so I'm going to say this battery runs it for at least 2 hours, maybe a little bit more. Alright, we've run the battery down. So far it's turned itself off. It says only 2% remaining. So now I'm going to charge it back up. We'll see how much power it takes. Alright, I'm charging the 1 battery in there. It is charging at about taking in 14.9 watts there. And we'll see how many watt hours it takes to fully charge it. Alright, this guy's fully charged. and it took 8 watt-hours to charge it up. So given that there's some efficiency losses, that means that the battery capacity is probably closer to 6.5, maybe 7 watt-hours. Now these batteries claim to be 10.8 watt-hours, 2.8 amp-hours, which is more than the stock battery, and I doubt that claim. I think they're probably, not 10.8 watt-hours because it takes less than that to charge them up. I suspect they're closer, maybe 7 watt-hour batteries. Alright, so assuming it took 7 watt-hours to charge this guy up, a nominal battery voltage of 3.87 volts, that's 1.8 amp-hours, which is just slightly less than a stock battery, which is, pretty consistent with the 2 hours of runtime I was getting with it. So reasonable batteries, but they don't live up to their specification hype.